Okay, dah live stream bisa. May I begin today's program, okay? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. I regard to all who joined our program today based on mental health. Welcome everyone. While waiting for other participants to join the Zoom meeting session, please make yourself comfortable, sit back and relax, and do turn off your microphone so that the program will run smoothly, inshallah. You may also turn on your camera if you want so. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to our speaker of the day, Dr. Jamila Hanum Abdul Qayyum, clinical psychologist of IIUM, Madam Asniza Mahmad, Senior Psychology Officer of CFS IIUM, peers members, and to all CFS students here. May I welcome you all again. Brothers and sisters, to get blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let us begin our morning talk today with the recitation of Furqan Al-Fatiha. Thank you everyone for the recitation just now. Before I proceed to our next agenda, let me introduce myself briefly. I am Nafisa Shazana binti Muhammad Faris Fadli, the Vice President of CFS Peers Support Group. And I will serve you today as your MC for today's program. Today's online talk, Mind Your Mental Health program, is focusing more on practicing mindfulness in empowering self-well-being. This talk is specially organized by the Counseling and Career Services Unit, CCSU, and Office of the Deputy Dean, Student Development and Community Engagement, OSDCE. Our program today is organized to help all of us on practicing mindfulness and empowering our self-well-being. And for your information, there will be 2 slots in today's program, which is the first session is going to be at 9 until 10:30 p.m. 30 a.m. And then we will have a break and start back at 11 until 12:30 p.m. And if you have any questions throughout the program, please post it in the chat box so that I can address your questions when the time comes. Before I pass the floor to our guest of honor, let me share a little bit about our speaker today. So, Dr. Jamila Hanum, as an academic and clinical psychologist, Dr. Jamila Hanum's career in psychology includes working with individuals in educational settings and clinical settings. She currently serves as an assistant professor in the Department of Psychology, Kuliah of Islamic Remote Knowledge and Human Sciences in IIUM. She also practices her clinical skills and provides psychological services at the Psychology Services Unit in the department. Her previous working experience includes as Executive of Human Resources and Administration with Petronas. She worked in human development, human planning and budgeting, and recruitment. For your information, Dr. Jamila Hanum was educated at the IIUM in Bachelor of Human Sciences, Psychology, the University of Melbourne, postgraduate diploma in psychology, the University Kebangsaan Malaysia, UKM, Master in Clinical Psychology, and in the University Putra Malaya, UPM, Doctor of Philosophy in Psychology Medicine. Dr. Jamila Hanum received the Arazib Award, which is Best Student in Psychology, when she did her bachelor's degree. She graduated with high education for her master's, and during her PhD candidature, she received several travel grants awards for international conference presentations. So with that being said, let's start our program today by inviting our speaker of the day, Dr. Jamila Hanum Abdul Qayyum. The honor is yours. Welcome, Doctor.
Very much, Nafisa, for a very warm and long introduction on myself. And I would like to say thank you so much for everyone who have allocated your early morning. So it's very much some people say early is 9 o'clock, some people say that early is 7 o'clock, but I consider that 9 a.m. On Saturday, sometimes if I am not meeting people online like this, I probably doing something else, such as I probably still walking or enjoying myself, my breakfast on Saturday. So I've been informed by Madam Zah that this program um, can be conducted in a rujak manner. In other words, that I can use Malay and also English, but I would like to ask your opinion on that. The reason why I have been doing this kind of talk, public talk with people, and especially when it is live streaming on YouTube. Live streaming on YouTube, some people don't like this kind of rujak thingy. Yeah, it's either you speak in Malay or you speak in English. So in between or gray areas are not allowed. So I would like to ask, we have about 25 people at the moment with us, and I would like to invite all of you to give some recommendation at the chat box. Yeah, I would like to honor you since you are the first comers lah, basically. Yeah, I believe that we will have more and more after this. So I would like to honor you and ask your opinion whether you would like this program to be conducted in full English, or you would like this to be conducted in a rujak manner, or you would like this to be conducted in Malay, because I believe that all of us are Malaysian, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, CFS students are Malaysian. So can I invite everyone to join the chat box and tell me you would like me to speak in which medium that probably will impact you more. Okay, full English dia bahasa. I prefer Malay. I don't mind either way. I'm okay with full English. Okay, all right. Mix English, mashallah. English, English, English. Rojak Malay. My God. So it's a full of yeah. There's so many response. It's very difficult for me to also count here, but I would say that um, it's about similar. Yeah, it's about similar, whether English or Malay only, and also mixed. Yeah, so I will start using English. Yeah, I'll start using English, but there are also moments that I probably will be doing a bit of rojak when I would like to explain things in bahasa kebangsaan. Yeah, and in case if you don't understand some of the terminology that we probably will be using, and you would like me to explain that in Malay, please inform me. Okay, all right. So I am going to share my screen now. I'm going to share my screen. We will be, moving from one screen to another screen, because I would like to engage with you via online, yeah, via Mentimeter. If this is the first time you use Mentimeter, so this is a new opportunity for us to learn together, to interact via online. Okay. So, Sister Nafisa, are you able to see my PowerPoint?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, thank you very much. So I will definitely call your name again and again in case I would like to know whether we are currently on the right track or not. Yeah. Okay, Sister Nafisa, please remind me of time. We are at 9:12 at the moment, so I shall stop at 10:30 to have a break, and then we are going to have another slot from 11 to 12:30. Yeah, please remind me of time.
All right, doctor.
Okay, so the topic that has been given to me by the I think the counseling center at CFS is practicing mindfulness in empowering self well-being. Yeah, so there are few terms that are important here: mindfulness and also well-being. Yeah, this is the target of our discussion today. And before we continue with the with the details of our agenda today, I would like to share with you, if you go and Google about well-being, there are so many, there are so many literature about well-being. Yeah, and there are so many scholars that divided well-being into so many categories, but that is not our main point today. But when we talk about wellness and also well-being, yeah, when we talk about wellness, literature mostly talk about our physical wellness. Yeah, but when we talk about well-being, it is more than physical wellness. It's a combination of so many dimensions that makes us feel, in IIUM we call it sejahtera. Yeah, sejahtera. So well-being is a very complex concept, and since we only have about 3 hours today, yeah, we only have about 3 hours, I would like to focus very much our discussion on the on the mental well-being. Yeah, being a clinical psychologist, I think I'm not the right person to talk about finance, occupation, culture, environment, and even physical and even social. Yeah, we have sociologists, we have people in economics, we have IO, industrial and organizational psychologists, that can talk better about other dimension. So I will be focusing on the mental well-being. And today, in order to nourish our mental well-being, I'll be focusing our discussion on self-care. And I'll share with you later on why the topic of self-care and why we need to try our best to mindfully self-care in relation to mental well-being. Yeah, okay. So, as I have informed you, I would like to focus on self care. Yeah, I would like to focus on mindful self care so that we can empower our self well being. And these are the topic for today's discussion. Okay, some people may think that, well, we have been caring about ourselves since, since very young age. Yeah, if infant, definitely our caretakers, caretakers can be parents, yeah, can be child carers who care for ourselves. But we have been doing this again and again and again, and it may sound like a cliche topic for us, but I'll be showing you from the perspective of scientific evidence. I'll be showing you from the perspective of psychology why self care is very important so that we can empower our mental well being. So let's move to the first topic, which is the why we would like to bother about this. But before that, this is an important reminder because I have few engagement that I would like to have with you. Therefore, if you watch this discussion via your laptop, computer, desktop, it would be good if you also have your smartphone with you. But if you only watch this via your smartphone, you may need later to have another window. Yeah, because we are going to engage this. We are going to engage ourselves via different platform, which is called Mentimeter. And if you have a pencil or pen and paper, it would be helpful too, because you are going to write certain items or certain score, and you need to do some calculations, yeah, because we are going to understand more about our mental health status, and we would like to understand more about our current ability in self-caring. So we are going to do some screening lah, yeah, we are going to do some screening. Okay. So if you would like to run and take the pencil and paper, so you can do so, yeah, because I will start a bit slow at the beginning, so hopefully people will join us more. Okay, so let's move to the first agenda, which is why bother about self-care and what's the point? Yeah, and this is our first engagement via Mentimeter, and I'm going to stop sharing for a while, and I'm going to bring you to Mentimeter now. Okay. If this is the first time, yeah, if this is the first time you are using Mentimeter, I would like to invite everyone. Oops, sorry. So this is not the first one, yeah? Sekejap na. Okay, this is the first one. Okay, so if this is the first time you are using Mentimeter, yeah, you don't know what is Mentimeter, I would like to invite you to go to www.menti.com. Yeah, type in the your apa tu Google ke, yeah, menti.com, and use the code 6650 4651. 4650 4651, and you are not going to be asked on who you are, yeah, so don't worry, I don't know who you are. And answer this question on why bother. What's the point of learning mindfulness and self-care, or mindful self-care? I would like to get your opinion about that. And I'm waiting you to do that. I believe that you are probably still typing, going to the menti.com, typing the code, yeah? If you can help me and engage with me, why bother? Why bother to learn mindful self-care, and what's the point to learn all of this? Okay, yeah, I'm still waiting. I do understand that it's probably a new thing for you. Okay, we have someone who have responded to the question. Yeah, we have at least 2 people now, and I hope that we will get more and more answers. Yeah, so throughout our 3 hours sharing session, I'll be asking you to engage with me online. Yeah, and I hope that we are not here just to park our name and do something else, and because that is not mindful. And I would like to invite you to be mindful and answer this question on why bother and what's the point to learn mindful self-care. And some of us have responded that to avoid burnout. Well, that is one of the famous terminology that people are currently using. Burnout, yeah, burnout. It almost, or the symptoms looks like depression, yeah, when we talk about burnout. And some people say that so that we can help to care for ourselves better, to make me love myself more, to improve myself. to know more about myself and how I can love myself, to know ourselves better. And some of us also specifically mentioned the terminology of burnout and depressed. And hopefully, by learning mindful self care, we can avoid this mental health issues or problem. Yeah. And hopefully, some of us mentioned that we hopefully this mindful self-care can help to solve problem regarding ourselves. So I assume the problem that is being referred here is pertaining to mental health issues, because if the problem is a real problem, such as problem of communication between you and your future lecturer, for example. Yeah, your lecturer keep saying something, uncomfortable to you, nasty words. There are some of harassment issues, for example. That is real problem. Yeah, that is real problem. And self-care probably can protect us from having depressive symptoms triggered by those events. But the communication problem that we have with our lecturer need to be solved using problem solving strategy. That is a specific technique, another technique that I would like to invite you to learn also. Yeah, but I'm unable to cover that today. Okay. Some of us says that to make myself better and cope with my insecurity. Yeah, we will be talking, inshallah, more about feeling of uncomfortable, such as feeling of insecurity, and being a young adult like all of you is not easy. Emerging adult age is a difficult age. Yeah, I've gone through that, and the word insecurity also, struck me when I was at your age. Yeah, when I was in IUM, feeling feeling having the needs to feel validated, having the needs to feel accepted, having the needs to be loved or to be needed by friends. Yeah, is something that are very usual definitely at this age. And other people say that I believe learning this would allow ourselves to love ourselves more. For example, we accept that we can have our ups and downs, and that's totally okay. It seems like I'm talking to a clinical psychologist or psychologist in the future. Yeah, and from your, from some of your responses to me, yeah, it seems like you are very psychological minded in nature, and it really warmed my heart, especially during this Saturday morning. Some of you mentioned that we are currently living in a society which people are suffering and being helpless due to the pandemic of COVID-19. This mental health care can help ourselves to become better and mental strength to fight against the problem that we are having today. Well, that is fantastic. One of the reason we do self-care is because this is one of the things that are most certain, because pandemic COVID-19 are very uncertain today. If you are living in Selangor, KL, or Putrajaya, this Klang Valley area, the numbers are the numbers are fluctuated, and that is somehow beyond our control. Something that are very uncertain, something that are very uncontrollable. When we live in an uncertain environment and uncontrollable environment, it makes us feel easily anxious. Yeah, and going to something that are more controllable is one of the aim for today's discussion, which is self-care. Self-care is something that are easily for us to manage and control in comparison to so many other things that are happening around us. Okay, thank you so much for these 19 people who have been sharing your opinion, and I hope that we have 31 people now, and let's move to our slide again. Okay, and I hope that you are now watching and able to see my slide. Yeah. Okay. Talking about mental health. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to change the word saringan to screening. Yeah. um, Talking about mental health status, especially during this COVID-19, I would like to invite you to learn more about your well-being and specifically focus on the mental health. Yeah. And I'm going to share with you this screening tool. And this screening tool called DAS-10, or Depression, Anxiety, and Stress Scale 10 items. Some of you probably have done this in 21 items version. Some of you probably have done this in 42 items version. Yeah, 42 is the full items, the full version of DAS. And we have, most people use 21 items. 7 items goes to depressive symptoms, 7 items goes to anxiety symptoms, and 7 items goes to stress symptoms. But based on the recent literature, I found that we have 10 items, and I would like to explore this further. And at the same time, because we have 3 hours and I would like to focus more on self-care, I can't allocate much time to do the 21. Inshallah, in the future, if we have more time, we can do the 21 version of screening. Okay, so this is where you need the pencil or pen and paper. I hope that you have that. In case you are more creative and so techno savvy, you want to just use your phone, also okay. And I'll be showing with you 10 plus 2 flag items after this. Yeah. When I show you the 10 plus 2 flag items, the 10 items goes to DAS. Yeah. You will be seeing the statement. And at the same time, you will be seeing the scoring. There are four level of scoring, from 0 score to 3 score. So rate yourself when you see the items. If the items have did not apply to you at all, give 0 score. If the item are sometimes applied to you, give 1. When the items are oftenly happen, there is no word oftenly, often happen to you, give score 2. And then if it is almost always happen to you, give the 3 score to the items. Okay, right. Participants can now see your application. That is only a reminder, I hope. Nafisa, at any time, if you don't see my slides or Mentimeter, just interject, yeah? Okay. So now, ready? Let's do the screening of DAS-10 so that we know about our mental health status better. How much the statement applied to you over the past week? Over the past week, not over the past month, over the past year, but over the past week. So I felt downhearted and blue. Saya berasa sedih. So give yourself the score. Is it 0, 1, 2, or 3? So you just need to write 1, 1, item 1, and then the score. Okay. Okay, so I hope that you've done that. I know that you're at this age you are very fast. How about the second item? I found it difficult to work up the initiative to do things over the past week. So rate yourself. Yeah, you don't need to really think about 0, 1, 2, 3. So normally the first one is the correct one. Okay. I tended to overreact to situations. Saya cenderung untuk bertindak balas secara berlebih-lebihan terhadap sesuatu keadaan. Rate yourself. That is the third item. The fourth item, I found it difficult to relax. Saya rasa sukar untuk bertenang. Ya, sepanjang 1 minggu yang lepas. So rate yourself. The fifth item, I couldn't seem to experience any positive feeling at all. Saya langsung tak dapat merasai perasaan positif sepanjang minggu lepas. Read yourself. The sixth item, I felt scared without any good reason. Saya berasa takut tanpa sebab yang munasabah. Read yourself from 0 to 3. So you need to only have one score lah ya. Kan pening pula nak kira. So you need to have one score only for each of the item. I was intolerant of anything that kept me from getting on with what I was doing. Saya tak dapat nak bertolak ansur terhadap apa-apa yang menghalang saya daripada meneruskan apa yang saya lakukan. The seventh item. Kadang-kadang, sometimes we are unable to become tolerant to other people's needs. Yeah, and we just want to focus on what we want to achieve. The eighth item, I felt I was close to panic. Saya merasakan saya hampir panik. So read yourself. The ninth item, I felt that I had nothing to look forward to. Saya merasakan bahawa saya tidak mempunyai apa-apa yang saya nanti-nantikan atau apa-apa yang saya ternanti-nantikan. Read yourself. The 10th item, I was worried about situations in which I might panic and make a fool of myself. Saya bimbang dengan situasi di mana saya mungkin panik dan memperbodohkan diri sendiri. Okay, so these are the 10 items for dust 10. What I would like you to be more mindful now, if you have your pen with you, just, strike through it. Yeah, strike through it. It's not, put an underline, under all the score, and I would like you now to add all the scoring, before we move to the 2 flag items. So I'm giving you about a few seconds so that you can add all the scoring from item number 1 to item number 10. Okay. Okay, Nafisa, have you done calculating your score?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, young adults are very fast. Yeah, okay. So maintain that score. So now I would like to share with you the flag items. Yeah, okay. This is the one of the flag items, meaning that if we have these 2 flag items, please reach out. Yeah, please reach out. So we have Madam Zah here, and counseling center at the CFS is the formal place for you to reach out as a student. So I felt annoyed by people that criticize my drinking or drug use. If not applicable, mark not at all. And if you feel like, apalah Dr. Jamila ni tanya soalan macam ni, why you are asking this? Do you think that we are people who are doing this? Yeah, in mental health, I've learned that in clinical psychology, people come from various environment. Yeah, even though we are in an environment whereby we do not promote drinking or drug, in an environment that we consider this is haram, but human being is a human being. Yeah, and some of us are struggle with this issue. So if you felt annoyed by people that criticize my drinking or drug use, and drug here does not necessarily mean the illegal drugs, even the legal drugs such as the nicotine use, cigarette, vape, for example. Yeah, if you rate yourself and you think that you really feel annoyed and the score is worse, the score is high, probably it's the time for you to reach out to people. And The second flag items is I have thoughts of ending my life. Saya ada terfikir untuk mengakhiri hidup saya. So read yourself. And this is again another flag item pertaining to suicidal intention. And if you have suicidal intention over the past week, so I really hope that you can reach out and talk more about that suicide intention. Yeah. Okay, so now let's move to the Mentimeter dustpan. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to share again our Mentimeters. Okay, give me some time. Okay, sekejap ya. Okay, so I have moved to another Mentimeter slide. Yeah, I have moved to another Mentimeter slide, and you know that you need to go to menti.com and use different code 87906071. Okay, Masya Allah. So you already know how to do it basically. So add item 1 to 10 scores only. Yeah, and then share with us your score. And I would like to remind you that you don't need to worry because this is an anonymous. Yeah, I do not know who you are, who shared 0 to 7 score, who shared 8 to 30 score. Yeah, but at least you know where you are at. That is the most important thing, and that is an action of self-care. What we are doing now is an action of self-care. Okay, so we have 9 people online with us. Nafisa, how many students at the moment in both Zoom and also YouTube? I know YouTube probably viewers, we do not know who they are.
In Zoom, there are, including me, 33 and
YouTube dalam 65.
Okay.
yeah.
65. Okay. Because even for YouTube viewers also, they can join us at menti.com. But I understand that some of us just join in and probably have missed this 10 item. It's okay. We have another profiling that we are going to do later on, yeah? And that is self-care profiling. And that is important because that is the target of today's presentation. Okay, well, we have about 17 people, and the scoring looks like you can see that on the screen. Again, let me share with you the interpretation, of the score. Being a clinical psychologist, I've been trained that we need to assess. We need to assess in order for us to help doing the intervention. And this is part of an assessment, doing screening using DUS-10. Yeah, and based on the literature that I have read about this DUS-10, it is, but I also would like to have a disclaimer. This DUS-10 is yet to be validated in Malaysia setting, but it has been validated, for example, in Australia setting. Yeah, and I am looking forward to validate this DUS-10 items with my master student, inshallah, in about a year time. And hopefully we'll be able to use a validated version of DUS-10. So what I am going to share with you is the interpretation based on overseas interpretation. Yeah. So I have a disclaimer over there. So what does 0 to 7 score mean? What does 8 to 30 score means? According to the literature that I've read, those who are in 8 to 30 score are very much encouraged to seek out, to seek support in relation to your mental health. Yeah, because there are probability that 8 to 30 score respondents have a clinically significant mental health issues. But the gap is very big, yeah. 8 to 30. If we use DAS 21, and I believe that Madam Zah know about this, and some of you also know about DAS 21. If we use DAS 21, we have a better cutoff score. We have a better cutoff score or categorization for me to tell you whether you need to seek professional help or you need to seek you need to seek peer support, peer support group, for example. But using DAS 10, I am unable to do so. But what I can say is 8 to 30 score, those who scored that, this is the time where you need to reach out to people, whether peer support or professional help. Yeah, I will be talking about that more after this. And if it reached to 25, 30, very high score, it is, for me, it is an indication that you must get a professional help. Yeah, you must get a professional help. And what is professional help? Later, I'll be sharing with you. And for those who are in 0 to 7 score, yeah, you can see that 7 and 8 is very, a very thin line, and mental health is actually in a continuum scale. Today we are okay, tomorrow we are probably not so okay. Yeah. And if we look at more generally over the past week, over the past 2 weeks, over the past 1 month, we can somehow screen ourselves whether we are more towards okay or we are more towards not so okay. Yeah. So in other words, people who are in 0 to 7 category, they can also move to 8 to 30 category. People who are in 8 to 30 category also can move back to 0 to 7 category. This is very normal. Yeah, but people who are in 0 to 7 score, whatever that you have been doing at the moment, yeah, your coping strategies, your self-care, I would like to suggest maintain that and be more creative in caring for yourself so that you can maintain to be in 0 to 7 score. I'm not saying that it's very wrong to be in 8 to 30 category. No, I'm not. That is not an indication of 8 to 30 score is bad. We are human being. It's very normal to be ups and down. But it's our amanah, yeah, it's our responsibility to care for ourselves, and we hope that we can care for our mental health. And this is one of the screening tools that you can measure yourself. If you are well versed on DAS 21, there are 5 categories: normal, mild, moderate, severe, and extremely severe category. And it has scores lah for these 5 categories. People who are in normal and mild, normally I will suggest them to care for themselves using the coping skills that they already have, their self-caring strategies. People in moderate, these are where they need to reach out to get peer support group. People who are in extremely and extremely severe category, these are people who need professional help. Yeah, but since we use DAS 10 today, I'm unable to show you the category. Yeah, but I hope that it give you some indication on where you are at the moment. And as I have informed you, if you have if you rated yourself high in the 2 flags item, yeah, about drinking, about drug usage, about suicidal intention, you must reach out to people, yeah, and get help especially from professional help. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my Mentimeter and I'm going to go back to our PowerPoint slide. Yeah, Nafisa. Batuk pula. Let me take my water sekejap ya. Dia hang pula. Kadang-kadang sabotage. Okay. Okay, what is this? All right. from the perspective of clinical psychologists, from the perspective of mental health professional like me, Madam Zah, the reason why we are having this kind of mental health advocacy program is because we know the fact. We know the fact that our young adults needs help. Because in 2017 National Health Mobility Survey, and in 2017 or before that, when they conducted the survey, these are the students who are still learning in secondary school. And now fast forward 2021, these students are probably with us in the university, in the college, or probably they take any technical courses in Mara, for example. They have become young adults now, and probably adik-adik kita, those who have involved, those who are in UIA now were being interviewed previously, rated themselves using involved in this National Health Mobility Survey. And as we can see on the screen, based on the NHMS survey 2017, 1 in 5 young adults or adolescent that time have depressive symptoms. 2 in 5 have anxiety issues, and 1 in 10 have stress issues. And we can see that in terms of gender distribution, our female adolescents or young adults struggled more. Not only that, if we talk about suicidal behavior, when we talk about suicidal behavior, it comes from suicidal ideation first, and then the planning part, and then the attempt part. And as we can see that the numbers are definitely worrying, because 10.1% of our adolescent that time, especially when we see that Form 1 students, because I have a child who is currently Form 1, the numbers are worrying for me as a mother, as a mental health professional. Okay, and if we go to the WHO survey, suicide is actually one of the risk factors of death among young adults. Some surveys showed number 2, some surveys showed number 4 reasons of death among young adults. Number 1 is accident. And not only that, we know the issues of internet addiction. We know the issues of using or struggling using substance. And we know the issue being bullied or becoming the bully, and the usage of cigarettes among our young adults. The usage of alcohol are also high among young adults, and the sexual behavior among young adults, as we can see that is the number. And the issue of truancy among Malaysian adolescent in relation to school truancy. We can see the numbers are quite high, about 30% in rural and also urban, almost 30%. So these are the reason why people keep reaching out to our young adults, and many mental health professionals like me trying our best to reach out and preparing a lot of program so that we can understand young adults better and we can help young adults better. Because I keep thinking that you are going to become the leader of my children. You are going to become the leader, the boss of my children if my children makan gaji lah, working in a sector whereby they earn money. If they are very creative and do their business, they are the one who will become boss. Yeah, so it's very important to make sure that our future leaders, yeah, our future generations are being taken care of. And hopefully, my children, you can also take care of your older generation. When you have good mental health, only that you can take care of the older generation and also your own children in the future. So, why bother? We bother to care for ourselves is because, based on the literature, self-care is a protective measures. Self-care is a protective measures for so many things. Yeah. Tak keluar pula Self-care is a protective measures for mental illness symptoms, job or school burnout, and it enhance work and school productivities. It stabilize our physiological or our biological bodies. It help us to regulate our emotion. So self-care, when we mindfully care for ourselves, these will become the protective factors for mental health issues. Yeah, and that is the beginning of our topic, and I hope that I have shown enough that it is very important for you to be more mindful with me today and learn about self-care. I hope that I have sold this program good enough. Yeah, and because it's already 10, and I hope that this time around we have more and more people to learn about self-care. Okay, so now let's engage ourselves again using Mentimeter. So let me prepare my Mentimeter for a while. Let me open the presentation. Okay, as you can see on your screen, I would like to invite you to go back to the menti.com and use the code 35903907. And I would like to invite you to share with me, when we talk about self-care, give me one word that reflects on self-care. Or when self-care is being used, or when someone verbalizes the word self-care, what comes to your mind? One word on self-care. Okay, we have one responses at the moment. It's about love. It's about loving, validating, rest. Oh, I like that. Rest. We will be resting after 12:30. Laugh. Yeah, I have just laughed. That is part of self-care, I believe. I agree with you. Appreciating self, appreciating others. Yeah. And it's crucial. I agree. It's very crucial. And yeah, it's about that. And we have about 6 people who join us online now. And some people say that self-love because I am worth it. Yeah, self-care is about self-love because I am worth it. But some people say that self-care is probably selfish. That is very interesting opinion. Yeah, and we will see whether it is really a selfish or not when we care for ourselves. Yeah. Self-respect. Self-respect is one of a way to care for ourselves. Hygiene, I like that. Yep, you will be seeing that hygiene is one of the element of physical self-care that I'm going to elaborate more after this. Accept and acceptance. Yeah. Accept what? Accept we have our own struggle. We accept that we have our own weaknesses. We accept that we have issues that we need to work on. Yeah. Hug. Yeah. Well, I will remember to hug myself and also my children after this, or I will ask my children to hug me after this. Passion and calm. That is a very interesting emotion that you have shown to me. Yeah. Some people say that passion is self-care. Some people say that calm is self-care. It's very it's very much pretty depending on the way you see about self-care. Yeah, I can see something related to eating. I would like to take that. Oh, where is eating? um I saw something related to eating, and suddenly I couldn't see it. What happened to my eyes? Eating enough food. Yeah, down there. Eating enough food. Yeah, enough. Enough is one thing, but eating highly nutritious food is another thing. Yeah. Also enough is probably apa ni, talking about the amount, but how about the quality of the food? Yeah. Fresh, wise. Wow, wise. People who care for themselves is a wise people, I believe. Engage in things you like. Yep. For example, what are the things that you would like to engage with? I developed new self-care activities recently. I challenged myself to care for plants. Yeah. A few months ago, or few years ago, I challenged myself um to care for stray cats. And they have been parts of us now. So thank you so much, apa ni, for your sharing. So I would like to now move to our next agenda, yeah, which is self-care. Okay, you have been sharing with me all the important information about self-care, but why? No, because as you can see, and as I have informed, that mental health is in a continuum stage. Yeah. And as also have elaborated previously, when we are in a healthy stage or in reacting stage, self-care and social support are very important so that we can maintain in that continuum. So that is the reason why we need to learn, continuously learn and be creative in caring for ourselves and getting enough social support. But when we are in injured or in ill stage, this is where of course, you need to continuously care for ourselves. But at this stage, when you are already injured emotionally and ill mentally, normally people in this category, they have started to losing the ability to care for themselves. Yeah. And that is the reason why they need to get the professional help. So before we move to the injured and ill category, we need to be mindful and continuously learn and striving to care for ourselves. And you can see that in this pyramid, this is actually a WHO figure on the mental health treatment. Yeah. And you can see that there are informal service and formal services. Informal services and formal services, as you can see on the left side of the figure. And self-care and informal community care, such as peer support group, are actually considered as informal services, but it is the foundation. It's the foundation for the maintenance of mental health. When we are unable to care for ourselves better, that is where we move to the formal services, such as in Malaysia, we have klinik kesihatan. Yeah, we have clinics kesihatan. That is considered the primary care mental health services. We also have Mentari. I will show you later on. Mentari is the community mental health center, whereby you can just walk in and tell the doctor that you need help. So when when we get help from the primary care mental health services, when the doctor there or when the medical practitioners there that you need more help, they may give you a referral letter to a general hospital with the psychiatric services. This is where the MO medical officer and also the psychiatrist in the psychiatric unit, psychiatric department in the general hospital will care for you. But when the doctor think that you need more help, you probably will be referred to the mental hospital such as Hospital Bahagia, Hospital Sentosa, Hospital Permai, yeah. So that is the long stay facilities whereby they have, this is considered as specialist psychiatric services. So go back to the foundation. The fundamental that we want to learn today is about the self-care before it moves up further. Yep. So what does it mean by self-care? So as a psychologist, of course, I would like to share with you more about self-care from an evidence-based perspective. And the definition, the bookish definition of self-care is a daily process of being aware of and attending to one's basic physiological and emotional needs, including the shaping of one's daily routine, our relationship, and our environment. So that is actually self-care. And when we have the word aware and attending to, the word aware and attending to, yeah, is an indication that we need to be mindful in caring for ourselves. Okay. So there are about, if I'm not mistaken, when we talk about mindful self-care based on the Cook-Cotton dimension of mindful self-care, different scholars have different interpretation about self-care. But the authors that I have referred to categorize self-care into, I think, around 6 categories. Yeah, around 6 categories. And number 1 is mindful awareness. Mindful awareness refers to we have awareness on ourselves from one moment to another moment. And this can be cultivated through both formal and informal practices. Okay, being a Muslim, actually, we already have the formal practice. The formal practice is actually our salat. Yeah, when we do our salat 5 times a day, we are actually have involved in a formal practice of mindful awareness, because we are not only being taught since childhood that when we do salat, when we perform our salat, we just do it behaviorally. No, we have a combination of intention. Yeah, our niyat. Yeah, we make an intention to perform specific salat. How many rakaat? Because of what? Because of Allah. Whether it is in a congregational prayer or individual prayer. Yeah, and we also being asked to learn to be khusyuk. And there are so many strategies to be khusyuk, and I'm probably not the best person to talk about that. But I'll be showing you some of the similarities between mindfulness and khusyuk later on. Other than these formal practices, yeah, if you remember when we do our saum, our fasting in the month of Ramadan or in other months, yeah, we need to have niyat. And then we are aware, we have been informed that are you fasting? Is this a behavior or a people who are fasting? We always being educated about the best way to do fasting, the best way to do salat. Yeah, but there are also other informal practices that we would like to generalize this mindfulness awareness in our other daily activities. For example, when you are doing your assignment, yeah, when you are doing your assignment, you need to focus, right? And you can have a niyat, you can have an intention that I would like for the 15 minutes when I do this assignment, as much as possible, I would like to be really mindful. My eyes is on the words. My touch sensation is on this surface of a keyboard. So we can have that. We can make an intention to generalize the mindful awareness activity in other informal practices. Sometimes I also have an intention to brush my teeth formally. Formally, to brush my teeth mindfully. Yeah. And at certain point, because washing dishes has become so routine, and when I say that, why don't I make this as a mindful activity so that I know this is a part of self-care activities, rather than geramnya, why lah these people at this home, they only know how to use this glass but do not know how to wash by themselves. I think many of us share those sentiments and emotion, right? But if we would like to be healthy, we can change it to a mindfulness activity and say that, well, I know I can choose to be angry, but I can also choose to just be nice, be kind to other people, and wash their dishes. And why don't I use this as part of informal practice for mindfulness? And when I do that, I have sinus, I have sinus, and this early morning is a struggle for me. But when I do it mindfully, washing the dishes, sometimes I realize I can sense the nice smell of peach soap that I use. Yeah. If I'm not mindful, I don't really care about the apa uh the apa tadi I sebut the soap smell. Yeah, I don't, it doesn't really register in my brain. But when I intentionally do that informal practices, suddenly I can smell that. It's not suddenly like magic lah, meaning that it's registered in the brain, yeah, that, oh, this is nice. I couldn't care less about this previously. Yeah, the sensation of the soap and whatnot. Yep. Let's move to the mindful relaxation, because I am also mindful of the time. So the second component is mindful relaxation. When we talk the word relaxation, yeah, it is actually any techniques that can self-soothe ourselves and calm ourselves. And deep breathing is something that people use for relaxation. And when we couple it with mindfulness, later on we will do it together. What does it mean by mindful relaxation, mindful deep breathing, or mindful breathing? So I would like to suggest to you that after our session today, you probably would like to Google what are other techniques of relaxation that you can do it structuredly. Yeah, I know that listening to music for some people is considered relaxation. For me, watching Korean movie is considered relaxation for me, and it's quite some time already that I did not watch Korean movie, and I will do that tomorrow, inshallah, with my daughter. Oh no, tomorrow we have scheduled ourselves to watch Little Woman. So yeah, that is considered our structured relaxation activities. Okay. And this third component is the physical self-care. Normally, when people talk about self-care, people just focus on the physical self-care. We forgot about the relaxation part. We forgot about the mindfulness awareness. And that is the reason why I promote mindful self-care, because it has different components and we can be more creative in caring for ourselves. But under physical self-care, as many of us know, it goes back to the basic nutrition. I would like to suggest to you, please learn about basic nutrition. Doesn't matter if you are a sciences student or not, but we as a human being, we must learn about basic nutrition. We must learn how to hydrate ourselves better. We must learn how many times exercise, how much time that we need to allocate for exercise. If we go by the official international standard, it's very much encouraged to us to exercise for 130 minutes in each week. Yeah, if we divide by 30 minutes, we can do 30 minutes exercise for in every day, for 5 days in a week. Yeah, if that is 30 minutes. But don't forget, exercise is not only about cardio. Yeah, it's not only about cardio exercise. Based on international standard, we also need to learn about apa tu senaman bebanan, weight exercise, weight training exercise. Yeah. Um, and it is stated in the international standard that we need to do this strength training or weight training for about 2 times a week. So learn a bit about our body as a weight, and also other stimulus such as dumbbell and whatnot. Yeah, and use that as part of the weight training. Daily hygiene. Yeah, as a Muslim, I think this is a very simple things to digest, because we also need to take wudu, kan? Before every time we perform our prayer. And being in Malaysia, that I think, you know, uh frequent taking bath is also very important. But learn about the usage of soap too frequently. What kind of soap is suitable for your skin and whatnot, so learn about that. And other than that, maintenance of medical and dental care, goes to see your dentist every 6 to 1 year. Yeah. Meet your doctors not only when you are ill, but if that is the only time you can see them, when you are ill, and talk a bit more with your doctor, get tips from them, and avoid the substance usage that can abuse you. Another element of mindful self-care are self-compassion and spirituality. The word self-compassion there is translated as rahmah diris, ya, rahmah kepada diri in Malay. And when we have self-compassion for ourselves, we are actually treating ourselves with kindness. That is very much related to the self-love. For some of you who have used the word self-love, yeah. So we treat ourselves with kindness. Not only that, when we have self-compassion, it is not only about us. When we have self-compassion, we also recognize that other peoples in the humanity also have their own struggle. When we understand other people's struggle, we will feel more grateful that we are actually sharing a lot of stress source and struggle together. It is not only us alone struggle in this world. Children have their own struggle. Your brothers and your sister who are doing PDPR at the moment have their own struggle. You have your own struggle. I, as a lecturer, have my own struggle. We all have struggle in this world. But the beauty of being a Muslim, Allah has informed that, how can we say that we are someone who are faithful until we are being challenged? And Allah also has reminded us that, inna ma'al usri yusra, fa inna ma'al usri yusra. Don't worry. In every hardship, there will be ease. And Allah remind us again that, don't worry. In every hardship, there will be ease. In every hardship, there will be ease. You feel struggle as a student to complete all those assignments, yeah, being judged by certain people and whatnot. But Allah has reminded us, don't worry. In every hardship, there will be ease. Believe in that. And hopefully Allah will show that wisdom soon for us to have more faith on the ayat. And another element, a healthy and supportive relationship. We are a social being. Yeah, we live in an environment that need people. Yeah, friends, family, lecturers, counselors. Yeah, but I would like to suggest that check our relationship with other people. Do you have an unhealthy relationship or not? One of the tips to check whether we have healthy or unhealthy relationship or not, when in that relationship we are unable to say no. Yeah, be it a friendship, be it a marriage, yeah, be it in a romantic relationship. if you can't say no to your significant other, your friend, that is probably an indication that that is unhealthy relationship. Give me a few seconds because I need some help from my from my son, ya. Tolong buka pintu, kucing nak masuk. Okay. And as some of you have mentioned that rest is about self-care. Self-care is about rest. Yeah. So sometimes not only about sleep, but having a restful break from one moment to another moment. For example, you have so many assignments that you need to complete. Did you schedule a restful break for 15, 30 minutes whereby you do nothing and just relax yourself in between of doing assignment, or you crush everything at one time, no planning time to rest? Because if we do not schedule it, we do not restore or rejuvenate ourselves. We did not sharpen the saw. Yeah, and our saw, ourselves will probably become blunt. And another element of self-care is to care for our physical environment. Yeah. So our physical environment, these are the external factors that probably can turn inward, that can help ourselves to become better. For example, I know that we are all in PDPR or remote teaching and learning in this semester. However, it doesn't mean that we can't really dress up properly when we would like to join our class. Yeah, it doesn't mean that we should not be organizing our workspace. So if we would like our environment to help us to care for ourselves, maintain and organize a proper workspace so that it will help us to be more internally mindful, internally able to care for ourselves better. Okay, so I would like to share, I would like to stop sharing for a while and move to the third Mentimeter. Okay. Okay, so I would like to invite you, because after I have after I've shared with you about self-care, yeah, mindful self-care on the 6th component, can I invite you your reflection on self-care, the self-care that you have learned today? What is your reflection? What is your thoughts about the self-care? What is your feeling about what I have shared with you? And what is your plan after this pertaining to your self-care? Okay. So I would like to invite everyone to join me on the self-care reflection. And inshallah, after this, we are going to have a restful break. We are going to have a restful break. That is the beauty of learning mindful self-care. Madam Zah has allocated the 30 minutes for restful break. Nafisa, are we actually online, Nafisa?
Yes, madam.
Okay, all right. So I am still waiting for people to yeah, we have at least one reflection at the moment. Try to trust others. Okay, that is interesting. An action plan to have more trust towards other people, because we know that social support is one part of the self-care. The second reflection is self-care is when we look out for ourselves as much as we do to our loved ones. It's also when we treat ourselves equally as other people. Yeah. Yeah, the word equal is very strong there, yeah. In other words, that when we do kindness to ourselves, we remember that we also want to be kind to other people. And if we have been being very kind to other people and not really care much about on ourselves, so probably this is the best time to have an equal treatment on ourselves and also other people. Yeah. Have a structured relaxation. Yeah. Allocate time to have a restful break and do the structured self relaxation. I also schedule about 6 p.m. In the afternoon for my structured self relaxation through exercise. So I kill two birds with one stone, but that is only uh phrase kan, not the real bird lah. Okay. So now I started to be more aware that it's difficult for me to be mindful because I have this comel fella. Oma Mota, please help me untuk letak dekat luar. Tak boleh lah. Another reflections is I would like to be consistent in balancing my self-care and effort in achieving what I want in this life. I want to trust myself more because in the end I can do it. Biiznillah. Inshallah. Yeah. It's normal to be stressed, but we have choice to cope with it positively. Or I would like to suggest that we can also we can have a choice to cope with it more realistically or rationally. Yeah, because not everything should be positive. Yeah, to try accepting that you are not taking care of yourself and seek help in finding better ways to cope. Wow, that is very strong for me. I am so inspired that accepting that there are some struggle in the past, and because of that I may not be able to care for myself optimally. So now it's the time to reach out. Do not feel guilty when you are spending time for yourself. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Say no. Say no to people. But I don't say no to Madam Za when she invited me, yeah, because I really want to share this with you. But there are people who I need to say no. I'm so sorry. Uh, I can't accept this invitation, but don't worry, I have other junior clinical psychologists who can also do this topic. So would you like me to share that with you? And that is an act of self-care for me. Yeah, an act of self-care for me, because I know that when I take more and more talk like this, my children probably suffer. As we know, self-compassion is not only for ourselves but also for other people. Yeah, so the structured life sometimes will help us to give time for ourselves, to give time for other people, the public, and also to give time to other family members. And unless it is emergency, there are things that we need to manage. Right now, I clearly know how to handle my problems. Try to always think a positive energy and find the best people that can give us good things. Learn the boundaries. If you don't know what you want, you know what you don't want. Oh, Madam Zah, I think our students are so psychological minded, yeah, but we only have 9 people lah at the moment. Stop doing the latter to better care for yourself. So there are some people who are highly psychological minded, and I thank you for that. And let's see, yeah, what are the things after this? So I'm aware of time now is 10:25, and I think okay, I think this is where we may want to stop. Yeah, this is where we may want to stop, even though it is yet to be 10:30. But I would like to suggest we stop now and we come back at 10:55 after 30 minutes. How? What do you think, Nafisa?
Yeah, sure, doctor. If that's okay with you too.
Yep. I think 30 minutes is really long. I can do a lot of things. So I think 30 minutes is good.
Okay, so we will have our break now. Inshallah, we will continue back at 10:55, right, doctor?
Yeah, 10:55 sharp, inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay. Have a break, everyone.
Do you have any video or any song we put here? We put here while we are in break.
Okay, okay, all right. So that is a restful break for some people. I don't have that, but probably you have prepared that, right?
Nafisa ada tak? Madam tak ada ni sebab ini laptop ITD. Nafisa ada any song you can play here?
Tak ada lah, madam. Saya selalu dengar yang tak ada liriknya.
Okay, never mind, never mind. Let me help you. It's very easy. Let's move to the YouTube. Kan? Nanti I share lah. These are the things that I like to listen to. Okay, do you know Crash Landing on You? Okay, some people know, some people don't know. Crash Landing on You. Okay. Tapi itulah, I just play YouTube je lah. So dia ada ads and whatnot. Okay, so let me share my screen ya. Tapi nanti dia akan main benda-benda lain jugalah ya.
Adakah anda simpan duit dalam fixed deposit kerana ia berisiko rendah dan kadar perfaedahnya tinggi daripada akaun simpanan? Atau anda dah mula melabur tapi anda melabur dalam mutual fund kerana ia lebih selamat? Atau mungkin anda langsung tak buat apa-apa dan boros berbelanja? Aduhai, itu bukan tindakan yang bijak. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Helmi dan dalam video seminit ini saya akan kongsikan cara mudah untuk melabur dengan selamat dan konsisten untuk pulangan yang lebih baik berbanding fixed deposit dan mutual fund. Realitinya, fixed deposit dan mutual fund tidaklah seteruk mana, tetapi adakah ia benar-benar memberi pulangan maksimum daripada duit yang susah payah anda cari? Kadar faedah fixed deposit ataupun FD hanya lebih kurang 2% setahun, sedangkan kadar inflasi di Malaysia adalah 3 hingga 4% setahun. Ini bermakna duit anda masih susut nilai setiap tahun walaupun anda letak dalam FD. Contohnya, 10 tahun lepas, sepinggan nasi ayam mungkin hanya berharga RM2.50, tetapi harganya mungkin sekitar RM5 sekarang disebabkan inflasi. Jika anda ada RM100 ketika itu, anda boleh beli 40 pinggan.
a simple question or a tough one. It's a question for our children or a childish one. It's a question of love. And for our loved ones. It's a question of hope. It's a question of trust. Whatever the question, it's a question of our life right now. Get vaccine-related information on Google.
We can't manage work like this. That's why I use Monday.com. My team uses it to manage projects, sales, recruitment, everything. Who the hell are you? I'm you. 1 minute into the future. What happened to you? Check this out. You put everything your team is working on here, who's responsible for what, and track where it all stands here. And whilst your team gets lost in painfully long email threads, my team's communication is super organized and easy to follow because it's connected to our work. But our team already has a bunch of tools that do this. Well, with a couple of clicks, you can just connect all those tools to Monday.com. That's how we manage all our work and data in one organized place. Do you know how much time
So it's 10:55 already. Welcome back everyone to our second slot. I will pass back the floor to Dr. Jamila Hanum to continue our session.
Thank you, Nafisa. And I hope that all of us have a nice, restful break for about 30 minutes. And I would like to continue with our topic on mindfulness. We have covered the reason why we learn about self-care and what is self-care previously. And for those who just joined us, we previously learned about the importance of self-care and also the category of self-care. And now I would like to share with everyone on what is mindfulness. Yeah. Okay, this is a picture that famously everywhere, yeah, in online, when we Google about mindfulness, yeah, and as you can see, there are two subjects over there, and we can assume that on the left is a human being, and on another one is an animal. And as you can see, the human beings' mind are very full with a lot of things in front of an environment that they both share together. And that animal, um, in his on his ke its ke, yeah, mine is the present, which is the sun and also the tree. Well, I believe that this is only a metaphor, yeah, only a metaphor. The difference between have a full mind with a lot of things while we are in the present moment, or we are actually being mindful. And I would like to invite everyone to listen to the founder of mindfulness based stress reduction. He is John Kabat-Zinn. And he is the founder of MBSR, and he's the one who have started or pioneer the movement of mindfulness empirically. Yeah, empirically. Of course, the tradition of mindfulness has started long ago. Yeah, but John Kabat-Zinn make it empirical. In other words, he collected the data and he sees how mindfulness transform an individual in terms of their health, physically and also mentally. Yeah. Okay, so let's watch this video together.
My working definition of mindfulness is that it's the awareness that arises through paying attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally. So it's awareness, and the awareness is cultivated by paying attention. And in a particular way, on purpose, in other words, intentionally, in the present moment, which is the only moment we ever have to be alive in. And then, most challenging of all, non-judgmentally. And that means, of course, we have judgments about everything, but to not be caught in those judgments so that we color everything through our likes and dislikes. So that sounds pretty simple. Okay, paying attention, I can do that. But actually, when you start to pay attention to how much we pay attention, a lot of the time our minds are all over the place and we have a very hard time sustaining attention. And our attention is not very vivid and it's not very stable. And teachers go out of their minds screaming and yelling at their classes of students, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. But nobody learns to pay attention by being screamed at to pay attention. So, but it's something that we can teach to people how to pay attention. And it's very, very powerful to learn how to sustain attention moment by moment by moment by moment by moment. My working definition of mindfulness.
Okay, so I would like, before I elaborate it further, and actually I shouldn't be elaborating John Kabat-Zinn's definition of mindfulness, yeah, but probably we can share the discussion together about mindfulness. I would like to invite everyone again to Mentimeter and share your thoughts about mindfulness. Okay, so this is our fourth Mentimeter, if I'm not mistaken, the fourth Mentimeter. So let's go to the www.menti.com and go to and type the code of 8660 4528 and share with me one word on mindfulness. You probably have captured certain thing from John Kabat-Zinn's explanation about mindfulness, and what somehow inspire you or triggered certain things and stuck, is a star struck apa ni, to you. We have someone who is very nice to share three words. Yeah, aware. Yeah, the word awareness, and we have been using the word awareness since the beginning of the sharing session today, non-judgmentally, and at the same time, John Kabat-Zinn did mention that of course, being a human being, we somehow have been taught about bad and good, like, dislike, right and wrong since early childhood, right? However, he has beautifully stated that most importantly is not to be, to being caught at being judgmental, especially to ourselves. But normally, when we do formal practices of mindfulness, we may want to be more aware about our tendency or urge to judge what we are feeling, what we are thinking at that moment. And during that formal practices, normally the teacher of mindfulness will help us to tone down the judgment towards ourselves, and that is also an act of kindness. For example, if we keep judging that we have a low mood, yeah, and now that judgment of having depression may lead us to feel more hopeless and helpless, and it become a vicious cycle and may stop us to get better. And we have other words that are very important, which is focus and attention. Putting our attention, putting our focus on the present moment. Yeah, and when we talk about moment, how many moment is actually in 60 seconds? So how can we sustain that focus and attention from moment one, moment two, moment three, moment four? And it takes a lot of practice. And that is the reason why after a few seconds, after few minutes, if we do not train our focus and our attention, our mind will drift it away and think about other things. Yeah, and I like that someone has used the word live in the moment and also being present. Yeah, being present. The present is actually the here and now, and our body is actually here. Yeah, our body, we can feel that, we can sense that, we can feel that our body are stuck in this world. As we know, some people say that we are actually a spiritual being that is stuck in this physical body and in this physical world. Yeah, and our mind are very much liquid in nature, whereby it can travel back to the past, it can travel to the future, and it can travel to somewhere that we have never been to. Yeah, and when we have our mind traveling too fast to the past, too fast to the future, and not in the present, sometimes it may trigger the uncomfortable emotion, the uncomfortable feeling. For example, when our mind thinking about what will happen in the next few weeks, am I going to get my vaccination? Am I going to go back to the hostel? Am I going to do this and that and whatnot? And when we focus too much on the future, and sometimes it may trigger some anxiety feelings, fearful feeling, uncomfortable feeling, because our body is here, but our mind wanders too fast to the future and make a lot of assumption on something that is uncertain and something that is yet to be controlled. Same goes to depression. Sometimes we travel much to the past and judge the reason why we do certain thing. I feel guilty that I did not do this and that. What if I make this decision, this thing will not happen? Yeah. And our body is here, but our mind travel to the past, and it increase guilty feeling, and it makes us feel uncomfortable in the presence. Yeah, that is the reason why actually we would like to promote being mindful, being in the present, being in the here and now, and reduce the judgment. Yeah, reduce or not caught by the judgment. And I love the word choice, because it is our choice. It is our choice to make an intention, to be mindful or not. And it is trainable. That is the beauty of mindfulness. It is trainable. Yeah, if we haven't been trained previously when we were a child at school, and we were unable to give full attention when our teacher talk in front of the class and teach us or taught us, now it's time for us to learn about mindfulness so that it can increase our attention and our focus. And there are a lot of benefits of mindfulness, a lot. It most importantly, the objective of mindfulness is to be aware of, to notice the moment, the present moment. And we, as much as possible, we do not want to be caught by the judgment that we have on the present moment. So by enough training, literature has found that it increase our attention and focus. When it increase our attention and focus, it improve a lot of things, such as our study, our work, and people get the secondary benefit of mindfulness. I see it secondary because it is not the first objective of mindfulness to make us feel calm. Yeah. The objective of mindfulness is to train us to be present in the here and now, with reduction of being judgmental to ourselves. But when we do that, the secondary benefits of it, we feel calm, we feel relaxed, we feel at peace. Yeah. Okay, so let me stop sharing here and go back to our our slides. Yeah. Okay, as John Kabat-Zinn has informed, it's about moment by moment by moment by moment. What happened in this moment by moment by moment? Yeah. I love this book called What is Mindfulness by Dr. Tamara Russell. Dr. Tamara Russell is a clinical psychologist and a neuroscientist, and she's the writer of this book. And I got this information, the 4-step mindful moment from Dr. Tamara's book, yeah, What is Mindfulness? And Dr. Tamara has nicely presented moment by moment in this conceptual framework. And Dr. Tamara informed that it is a struggle for us to focus our attention from moment to moment, and it involves actually 4 steps of mindful moment cycle. Yeah, as we know from the previous sharing session, when we would like to have an awareness, it comes with intention. Yeah, with purpose. John Kabat-Zinn did mention that with purpose. With purpose mean intention. We make an intention. We make an intention, and this is the beautiful of niyat that we have been taught since childhood. We make an intention. We make a niyat. We make a niyat that we want to be mindful. Yeah, and with self-compassion. And John Kabat-Zinn did mention that less judgment or no judgment on that present moment. And Dr. Tamara beautifully make it a framework. And as you can see, there are 4 steps. The step number 1 is paying attention to the present moment. We have intention to pay attention to the present moment. And suddenly, we become distracted. Yeah, because of so many things, we become distracted. And I became distracted just now with my kucing, cat. Yeah. And I note when I notice that this is a distraction. Yeah, the word notice is very important. And sometimes mindfulness training is to enlarge the ability of noticing mind wandering, because some people do not notice that their mind is actually wandering. They are actually feeling down. They are actually feeling comfortable, and they are being caught in that situation. So when we learn mindfulness, we learn to slow down. We learn to slow down and notice that our mind is not in the present, in the here and now. And when we notice that, we make another intention to decide to refocus our attention. And this 4-step mindful moment cycle, happen again and again, again and again, again and again. And it is a struggle of our life. Yeah, it is a struggle of our life. And with more and more training, we can enlarge the ability to be mindful. Enlarge the ability to be mindful. For example, if previously our mindfulness ability is only 2 minutes, and then through training, yeah, we can enlarge it into 3 minutes, and then 4 minutes, and then 5 minutes, but through training. And some people train themselves through meditation. Yeah, meditation is a mindfulness activity. If you don't like the word meditation, some people, Muslim scholars call it muraqabah. Yeah, it has different elements definitely in muraqabah. Okay, so that is the third. That is the third topic. So, what is and why mindful self-care? This is where I would like to combine the mindfulness and also the self-care strategies. Yeah, and the materials that I will show to you are an empirical material. Yeah, a material that have been tested. Okay, so the meaning of mindful self-care, as you can see, the 4 steps of mindful moment cycle. Yeah, it is an iterative process. Iterative process. When we call iterative process, it's a cycle lah. Yeah, iterative process of being mindfully aware and at the same time assessing our internal need and also the external demands. Our internal needs, for example, we may want to have rest, but at the same time, external demands says that you need to submit the assignment on time, for example. So mindful self-care is a process, iterative process that involve we are being mindful, we are being aware, and at the same time we continuously assessing the internal needs, our internal needs, and also external demands. And we make an intentional, purposeful engagement in specific practices of self-care. Yeah, certain specific practices of self-care, such as watching or listening to the crash landing on you piano session, for example. Specific practices of self-care. And that specific practices of self-care is actually to address the needs and also the demands. Yeah, and we hope that by practices the self-care, it will help us to improve our well-being. It will improve our personal effectiveness. Okay, so that is the bookish definition of mindful self-care by Cook Cotton. Yeah, and okay, this is about mindful self-care, in a simple definition, is a set of practices of self-care strategy that support what we call in the literature as positive embodiment. Positive embodiment is feeling nice, feeling positive, that we embrace it, that we embrace it in our daily life. And when we positively embody it, it become a protective factors for the burnout, the conflict, self-harm, feeling disassociation, asking help from the specific individual to turn off your mic, boleh tak? Yeah. Okay. I need Brother Shahrul Azhar to turn off your mic. Yeah. Okay. So apa tadi saya cakap? So when we do not positively embody the mindful self-care, we may experience burnout, conflict, we may involve in self-harming, we may have a poor body image and poor body dissatisfaction, and then we may involve in substance usage and disordered eating. So this is what have been found in the literature if we do not use mindful self-care as part of the self-care strategies. Yeah, I am aware that I am distracted now. Okay, so let's do this exercise of mindful self-care skills by Cotton, and I don't know how to pronounce the name, Ke, probably. This is the scale that has been developed in 2018, about 3 years ago, and has been published. Yeah, and okay, what I'm going to what I'm going to do now is to share with you the material. I'm going to share with you the material. So let me find the material. Yeah, I'm not sharing the screen now. Can okay. Okay, let me share the materials. Okay. Send successfully. Okay. I can only share this in the Zoom. Yeah. For those who are in the YouTube, I probably need the organizer to share the PDF at YouTube. I'm not sure if we can do that. Yeah. Or otherwise, people who who is currently watching this in YouTube, can you just type Google mindful self-care skill? It is available online. Yeah, mindful self-care skill. Okay, what I would like you to do, now is to open that PDF document that I have shared with you, and I would like you to read the document and attempt to rate yourself. Yeah, attempt to rate yourself. It is very clear. It has the instruction on what need to be done, and it will ask you to do some calculation, scoring, to get the adding numbers, and have that numbers with you lah. Later on, we are going to discuss that. Boleh? Yeah. So I am giving about 10 minutes I'm giving about 10 minutes for all of us to do that. Yeah. And let's be mindful with our time, and also let's do this. Yeah. Because if we don't do this now, we probably will not be doing it later, because we also have other things to do in our life. So let's do it. So I am going to mute myself and stop my video for a while. I will come back at 11:30. Okay, Assalamualaikum, Nafisa, and also others. I hope that you have been able to read through the document, and somehow it is not that difficult, right, to rate it yourself, and also added the score. So now I would like to share again my slides. Okay, so you have done the mindful self-care skill, yeah, and this is the framework basically on the mindful self-care practices and the experience of self, based on what you have done, yeah, based on the skills that you have done. And at the beginning of the session, in our sharing session today, so I did inform about the need, the six different domains of self-care, and they are when we talk about the internal self, it is about physical care and self-compassion and purpose. When we talk about practicing to nurture the external self, we would like to have a supportive relationship, and we would like to have a supportive environment or structure in our life, and we are integrating this internal self and also external self through continuously improve our mindful awareness moment by moment, through both formal practices and informal practices, and also have a mindful relaxation. These integrating practices are the key elements, yeah, that we need to continuously be doing mindful awareness and mindful relaxation. When we focus on the fundamental of mindful awareness and mindful relaxation, it will help to support the physical care and self-compassion. It also will help to support the supportive relationship and supportive structured environment. Yeah. And now I would like to invite you again to the Mentimeter. So now I am going to ask you to go to the menti.com. Yeah, to go to the menti.com and use the code 87 51 45 89. So that is the code, and I would like to invite you to share your score for the mindful self-care skill. Yeah, I'm still waiting, and I hope that someone will be sharing with us the score soon. And for those who just joined us, don't worry, this is anonymous. I don't know who you are and your score. At least we have one people who have scored himself or herself and share their score. Yeah, we have 3 people. And yeah, from these 4 people, we can see that the highest marks goes to a supportive relationship. Yeah, and at the moment the lowest mark is on the physical care. Yeah, and this kind of score, based on the 7 respondents so far, yeah, this score is quite similar to many other participants that I have conducted the similar program. Yeah, the physical care is normally the lowest, and other domains have various answer lah. But for the physical care, such as the needs to care for ourselves in terms of taking nutritious food, in terms of hydrating ourselves, in terms of exercising, yeah, mostly the domain that less cared for at the moment. Yeah. And based on the 12 respondents so far, the data is still the same. Physical care is the lowest, and supportive relationship is the highest. I'm happy to know that probably there were efforts in maintaining good relationship, and many of us get good support system from other people. This is something interesting, and through the data, I hope that we can make intentional engagement in which area of self-care that you want to improve. Yeah, if you find that the mindful relaxation is something that you would like to engage more, so make a scheduled mindful relaxation so that you will be more creative in caring for yourself. If we do not plan to do it, it's quite difficult for us to just involve in it, because this is a new sometimes this is a new behavior that we want to involve in, or a behavior that we want to strengthen in. When we want to strengthen a behavior, or we want to involve in a new behavior, we need to involve in a planning. Yeah, so that we are cognitively prepared, and the environmental are also supportive in nature, whereby we will assume, while doing the planning, we are going to assume what are the barriers that are possibly hinder me from be involved in the mindful relaxation. And when we do that planning, we do the problem solving strategy for the barriers that may hinder us from be involving in mindful relaxation. Inshallah, we will be able to do the mindful relaxation better. Yeah. And now I would like to invite you. I think this is the same quote, yeah, but just this different slide. In general, I would like to know, did you engage in a variety of self-care activities? And did you plan your self-care? And did you explore new ways to bring self-care into my life? Yeah, and we have about one people now on the screen, and it seems like these two people uh, have been planning their self-care. Yeah, but probably not as much as they can. Yeah, and engage in a variety of self-care. But of course, the score is not towards the higher score. The score is either in the middle or lesser score. So based on this general assessment, yeah, what we are doing now is actually assessment. Yeah, that is the reason why when we do self-care, we continuously assessing that, okay, how can I improve, what is less, what is more. Yeah, so based on the 9 data at the moment, I think what I can conclude is there are a lot areas that we can improve in caring for ourselves. And I believe this is a very important topic, which is mindful self-care, to be always talk about, not only talk about, but also we need to be involved in planning our self-care, and also do it. Yeah, do it in a variety of way, and be more creative when we do our self-care strategies. Because remember, the reason why we do the self-care is because it is the most fundamental strategy for our well-being. Yeah, especially for our mental well-being. Okay, so now I am going to stop sharing and share again my slides. Yeah, so okay. So we are now at the final topic. Yeah, we are now at the final topic on how to mindfully self-care. So we will be involving in some exercises after this, yeah? Some activities lah, some activities. So these are some of the basic mindfulness exercise. If you remember the integral part of the mindful self-care, mindful awareness, and also mindful relaxation. So what I'm going to share with you today is the strategies, the techniques that can enhance the mindful awareness. Yeah, and for some people, these basic strategies to enhance mindful awareness are also can be considered mindful relaxation. Okay, and this is the first technique, which is mindful posture. In any mindfulness workshop that you plan to go, or you have, you went to, yeah, if the workshop is conducted by someone who are being trained in mindfulness, yeah, such as MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBCT, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, MSC, mindfulness self-compassion, yeah, DBT, dialectical behavior therapy, ACT, acceptance and commitment therapy. They will go back to the basic. Of mindfulness exercise. And there are 3 basic mindfulness exercises that people do to inculcate the mindful awareness. Yeah. So number 1 is mindful posture. So I would like to invite everyone who is currently watching, yeah, to improve your posture so that you are mindful. How do you sit now? How do you lie now? Yeah. And in order to do this exercise, I'm going to play a video. Yeah, I'm going to play a video, and at the end of the interview, at the end of the video, there will be an invitation. There will be an invitation for you to do mindful posture. And I also would like to invite you to do the exercise together. Okay? So let's watch the video together.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our first video on mindfulness practices for our home-based learning. So it's important that while we look after our academics at home, it's also really, really important that we look after our well-being and make sure that we are comfortable, we're reflective, and that socially and emotionally, we're doing really well also. So I'm going to guide you through one of our first mindfulness practices, which is all about mindfulness posture. It's how we sit, it's how we get ourselves ready for mindfulness practices. And mindfulness, in a really, really short summary, is about attention, awareness, and our ability to accept things as they are before we respond to them. So mindfulness posture is fantastic at helping us become aware of our bodies, what we're sitting on, whether we're feeling light, whether we're hearing sounds in the distance. It helps bring our attention to our emotions, whether we're really excited and can't wait for home-based learning, or perhaps we're a little bit anxious about all the change. And lastly, it helps us bring our awareness to things before we respond. So it helps us to accept our feelings or our moods before we respond. So the very first lesson to do this, to get better at mindfulness, is to think about our mindfulness posture. So today I'm going to walk you through this, and then we'll practice it a little bit, and hopefully you can practice this every single day this week. So what is mindfulness posture? Well, you have to think about how you normally sit when you're comfortable. Sometimes you're slouching, you're relaxed, you might be leaning forward, and so you might be hunched over. Mindfulness posture is about sitting somewhere where you're comfortable. You're able to take big, long, slow, deep breaths. But at the same time, you're not overly rigid. You're not sitting like this, worried so tightly about doing the right thing. It's about being comfortable, but also being alert. So one of the techniques is to sit up straight, and imagine that there is a small piece of string just pulling you up from the top of your head. This helps open your chest and your airways to breathing, but at the same time you're still relaxed and comfortable. See if you can try that now.
It's time to practice, people.
So when you found your comfortable posture, this might be sitting on the couch, sitting in a comfy chair, it might be cross-legged on a cushion on the floor. We're going to practice taking some slow, deep breaths in order to do our mindfulness breathing this week. So to do that, find your posture and breathe in slowly through your nose, hold it for a second, and then slowly exhale. If you like, and if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes for this. Fantastic, well done. Now I'm going to give you a challenge. See if you can sit in your mindfulness posture, nice and comfortable but alert, and see if you can do some mindful breathing for 60 seconds. This will help give you a sense of calm and bring a smile to your mind.
Okay. The second one is mindful breathing. Yeah, the second strategy is mindful breathing. So if during the mindful posture exercise, you find that your mind still wander around, my tips to you is to bring your attention, to bring your attention to the sensation of the breathe in and breathe out. For the mindful posture just now, in the future when you would like to do the exercise again, focus on your attention on the sensations that you feel on your back, the sensations that you feel on your bottom, the sensations of if you lie down, what is the sensations that you feel. Yeah, focus on the sensation, because when we focus on the sensation, we will be able to train our mind to be present, to be here and now, and to be with our body. Yeah. So for this mindful breathing exercise, I would like to invite you when the instructor tell you to breathe mindfully, and the word mindfully here involve you are making an intention to do this mindful breathing. Yeah, and you are being present at the moment by focusing your mind to the sensation of breathe in. How does it feel of breathe in the air, and how does it feel by breathe out the air? And the feeling here is not emotion. Yeah, the feeling of you are able to sense it. Macam mana rasanya sedut udara ke dalam hidung tu kan, sejuk. That is the meaning of feeling the sensation. And whenever that our mind wanders around, it's okay. Yeah, gently bring back our mind to the sensation of breathing. So this is the second strategy that we are going to learn to inculcate awareness, inculcate attention and inculcate acceptance as how the instructor has informed. So I would like to invite everyone to still sit in a posture that can invite mindful awareness. And now we are going to watch the next video on mindful breathing.
Hi everybody, welcome to our second video on mindfulness. Today we're looking at mindful breathing, which sounds a bit funny because we breathe all the time. But what we're really talking about is bringing our awareness and our attention to our breath. There's a couple reasons that we do this. One, it helps keep us in the present moment, helps keep us connected to those that we love. It helps strengthen our brain's capacity and develops our pathways, and it helps regulate our emotions. So it can help us if we're feeling a bit anxious to calm down. If we're happy, it can help us savor. So it's a really important tool, and this builds on from last week's lesson on mindful posture. Today we're looking at exploring how we feel our breath in our bodies, and where do we notice. And the aim is to see if we can find our anchor spot, which is that one spot where we feel our breath the strongest. And there are 3 different techniques that we're going to try to find our anchor spot. The first is on our heart, the second is on our belly, and the last one is on the palm of our hands. So follow along and do this exercise with me and see if you can find your anchor spot. First is to place your hand on your heart, and we're going to take a mindful breath. And this is just a normal breath. There's nothing special about this. It's just slowing down a little bit and breathing normally. So you place your hand on your heart, sitting up straight using our mindfulness posture, and take a breath in. See if you can notice your heart and your chest rising and your heart pumping. The second place is to put your hand on your belly and take a mindful breath. And see if you can notice your tummy pushing against your hands. Perhaps that's where you notice your breath. And the last one is the palm of our hand. Let's take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, you might feel your breath on the palm of your hand. So of those 3 different positions, which one did you find the easiest to notice your breath? Whichever one it was, that will be your anchor spot. And we'll use that for our mindful breathing practices from here on in. So I'll give you a chance to explore that now and to practice finding your anchor spot.
Time to practice. Let's find our anchor spot.
So today there are 4 key steps I'd like to teach you in order to get settled and prepped for mindful breathing. The first is to get your mindful posture, to sit comfortably, alert and relaxed, and imagine that piece of string is just gently pulling your body up, ready for breathing. The second is to find your anchor spot. So for me, that's my hands on my belly. For you, it might be your heart, or it might be breathing into your palm. The third is to get ready by closing your eyes, tilting your head down, and listening for the chime. And the last is to breathe. In and out, nice and slowly for 60 seconds. If your mind wanders off or your attention becomes on other things, that's okay. Just slowly bring it back and focus your awareness on the breath. So I'd like to encourage you to try that each day this week. 1 minute of mindful breathing using your anchor spot and your mindfulness posture. Have a wonderful week, Middleton.
Okay, so that was the third strategies, yeah, and the third strategies. That was the second strategy, and the third strategy is mindful movement. Yeah, mindful movement. We would like to train ourselves to move mindfully, and one of the famous practice is mindful walking. Yeah, mindful walking. Now, I remember this is my personal experience walking mindfully in Gombak campus. Yeah, one day I feel highly stressful due to my work. Yeah, and it's very usual to feel distressed with our work. Yeah, and I consider that that was a quite distress moment, and I know that nothing much I can do because that is beyond my control. Yeah, but I feel very uncomfortable because I feel very distressed, and I choose to, I know that, sit quietly may not be helpful to me, and some people probably take wudu and also pray. Yeah, but at that time I chose to, I would like to walk. I would like to walk. And that was about pukul I think around 12 p.m. Yeah, 12 p.m. noon. But Gombak campus is not too hot lah, sebab ada a very nice scenery juga kan. So banyak pokok kan. So I decided to walk. And I walk mindfully. I walk slowly and mindfully. Yeah, I make a circle. And when I reach at one of the mahalla, I don't remember the name of mahalla. It's after mahalla after. It's not mahalla. When I reach at about the stadium, the stadium at around the stadium, and suddenly a lady who was driving a car, and then she apa ni uh, opened the window of her car, and she invited me, apa kakak, let's come, I'll will send you to the place that you want to go. I said to her that, oh, thank you so much, I'm actually I want to walk. I purposely want to walk. And she was like, yeah, but this is so hot. And I said, oh, never mind. It's okay. I feel okay. I feel I'm okay. Are you sure you are okay? Yeah. I think I am about to be okay. Yeah, I feel a bit uncomfortable, but that is the reason why I walk. Yeah. That was a beautiful incident to me because it shows how kind our people in IUM, and she knows that something is probably not right. 12 p.m. And people are walking. This is not the time for exercise, but I do that for mindful walking because I need to do something. Hopefully, it can reduce my distress. And thank you to the sister. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for being so kind and stop me, and your act of kindness actually helped me to know that there are a lot of beautiful things in this world and not only about work. Yeah, that is my personal story about mindful walking. So let's watch this video about mindful walking, and what I can say is that the difference between mindful posture, where we senses our posture, yeah, we body scan our posture, and in mindful breathing we focus on the breathe in and breathe out, the sensation of breathe in and breathe out. And when we walk or any movement that we want to do mindfully, for example, when we walk, yeah, what we want to do is to be aware of our steps, to be aware of our foot Yeah, our foot and our feet moving, and what is the sensations that we feel at the bottom of our feet. Yeah, and this exercise will be more beautiful if you combine it with what we call earthing technique, whereby we open our shoes. Yeah, we open our shoes and put our feet on on grass. Yeah, on grass or anything lah. Yeah, so, and then feel that, feel the sensation. And these are sometimes the things that we neglect much in our life. So I would like to invite all of you for to watch mindful walking. We are unable to if this is a face-to-face exercise, we can do this in a apa nama tu, dewan kan, we can do this in a hall and it will be very nice. When I learn about MBSR, mindfulness based stress reduction, mindfulness based cognitive therapy, we have this exercise, we have this experiential exercise. It was fun, it was so fun. Yeah, so let's watch this video on mindful walking.
Maybe you know this feeling. You're rushing from one meeting to the next, and as you go, you're already planning the rest of your day. You probably don't notice it, but your head is constantly working at full speed. When you arrive in the meeting room, you are physically present, but feel rushed and unfocused. What if you let your thoughts rest while you walk? To do this, reduce your walking speed a little and completely focus on walking. Look at the floor in front of you, consciously take one step after the next, and concentrate fully on the movement. You feel the contact of your feet with the floor, your breathing, and your body. When you arrive at your meeting, you'll probably notice that you feel much more awake and focused. Simple, isn't it?
So, talking about mindful walking, I receive a lot of questions pertaining to this. Well, Dr. Jamila, do we need to do this all the time? Definitely not. Yeah, of course not. Yeah, as I have informed, we can choose this as our formal practice of mindfulness. For example, my teacher of mindful parenting, Professor Dr. Susan Bogle, yeah, from Netherlands, she said that she just do mindful walking only 10 minutes a day, and yeah, she do it at around 12 p.m. But of course, Netherlands, their weather is different from us, right? So she said that I want to do mindful walking, and normally I do mindful walking after I've taken my lunch. I've taken my lunch and I will do mindful walking. Walk very slowly. Walk very slowly, not walk very fast. After we take our lunch, yeah, we just walk slowly. Okay, so at other moment, if you need to rush, you can rush. But if you can rush, yeah, if you can walk very fast mindfully, that's even better. But when we are in the process of training ourselves on mindfulness, we probably would like to do it slowly first. Yeah. And another advanced techniques on mindfulness exercises, yeah, this is where we the three strategies are the integral, yeah, the integral exercises that can enhance mindful awareness and mindful relaxation. If you still remember the framework that I've shown you, the three circles, at the middle is the mindful awareness and the mindful relaxation, and on the left and on the right is something related to internal and also external. So mindful eating, going back to the mindful physical care. So eating mindfully will help us to feel to feel satiated easily, without the need to take a lot of food quantity, and we become more mindful on the type of food that we eat. And one of my interests is actually in weight loss and maintenance. I'm using psychology to share with people on how to maintain or reduce their weight and achieve ideal weight and maintain the ideal weight. And one of the easiest thing to share with people without the need to really calculate the calories and whatnot at the beginning. At the beginning, I'm not saying that it's not good. I also go and learn how to calculate calorie intake and whatnot. And the macronutrients, the micronutrients and whatnot, blah blah blah. Okay, but that is not the focus of our today's topic. So but at the beginning, I will share with them on how to do mindful eating. On how to do mindful eating. And if the person able to master mindful eating, normally they can reduce their weight. They can actually reduce their weight by doing mindful eating. That is the example of improving the internal physical care or internal mindful self-care. While the external mindful self-care, when we communicate mindfully with if you want to communicate intra personally with Allah, of course it can be done as well, but through mindful awareness, it hope to be generalized to mindful communicating with other people. Because as we know, when we are not mindful in the way we communicate, we may become the triggering factors of other people's mental health issues. As how we know that other people's word can hurt us. Our words, our action, our non-verbal reaction, our body reaction, the way we look at people, may also communicate something. And if we are not mindfully training ourselves to be mindful with the way we communicate, it may hurt ourselves and also other people. Okay, so now we are at the end of our sharing session, and I would like to talk about becoming a mindful Muslim. Being mindful is not something that is too alien in Islam and in our Muslim practice. And I cannot when I learned about mindfulness in Islam, I learned a lot through Yaqeen Institute, and I believe that some of you probably know about Yaqeen Institute. And I would like to invite you to watch this video on how to integrate mindfulness exercise in our daily life as a Muslim. So let's watch this video.
How to be a mindful Muslim, based on an article by Justin Parrott. What if there was a simple way for you to control your brain in all aspects of your life? Whether it's being able to overcome procrastination, or being able to focus better in your prayers, or just improving your overall quality of life, both spiritually and temporally. The fact is, there is a way to be in control of yourself, and it's backed by both contemporary science and Islamic tradition. You may have heard of the concept of mindfulness. It's a mental state of self-awareness achieved by focusing on the present. Think of a straight line. One end represents a state of being unmindful. This is where you react to your thoughts and emotions in a knee-jerk fashion and let them control you. If something makes you angry, you just get angry. If you feel lazy, you just don't bother doing anything. On the other end of the line is the state of mindfulness. This is where you have the ability to choose to follow or not follow your thoughts and desires. Basically, you control your actions. If something makes you angry, you don't just react. If you're feeling lazy, you're able to overcome it. Studies have shown that practicing mindfulness decreases stress, emotional reactivity, depression, and anxiety, while improving memory, focus, and personal relationships, and increasing empathy and compassion. There are many different types of mindfulness practices, like meditation, but we'll get to that in a moment. Mindfulness in the Islamic context is very similar to something called muraqabah. Achieving muraqabah means being in a complete state of vigilant self-awareness in one's relationship with Allah in heart, mind, and body. Basically, being in the state of muraqabah means knowing and finding peace in the fact that Allah is always watching you at all times, both inwardly and outwardly, and consequently developing greater attention and care for your thoughts, actions, feelings, and inner states of being. Done right, muraqabah has a twofold result. In this world, you will be able to reach a state of calm and contentment. And in the next world, you will be able to achieve a state of eternal calm and joy in paradise. Muraqabah is a means to reach the highest spiritual state in Islam, ihsan, or spiritual excellence. Ihsan is to worship Allah as if you see Him, which naturally brings us back to that state of self-awareness. So how can we actually achieve the states of muraqabah or mindfulness? For that, we have to understand how they're actually practiced. Remember when we mentioned meditation? Meditation is a practice in mindfulness, and there is secular meditation and Islamic meditation. The difference between the two can be traced back to the 4 aspects of muraqabah. According to renowned Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, muraqabah is realized in number 1, knowing or being aware of the Almighty. Number 2, knowing the enemy, Iblis or Satan. Number 3, knowing your soul's capacity to suggest evil or being aware of yourself. And number 4, knowing the deeds to be done for the sake of Allah. In secular meditation, the purpose is to achieve mental strength and well-being by being aware of one's own heart and mind. In other words, just number 3 of the 4 aspects of muraqabah. In Islamic meditation, the purpose is to achieve both mental and spiritual strength and well-being by being aware of all 4 aspects of muraqabah through a holistic Islamic framework of Islamic mindfulness. However, achieving number 3, being aware of your heart and mind, is also emphasized on its own within Islamic tradition as well. The Prophet ﷺ was known to regularly observe periods of silence in seclusion in order to cultivate presence or the mind's quiet awareness of here and now. Our righteous predecessors practiced several forms of meditation to enhance their acts of worship, prayer, and remembrance. Ibn al-Qayyim, for example, details 7 different types of meditation. And Al-Ghazali recommended 4 distinct daily spiritual mindfulness practices, including supplication, remembrance of Allah, Quranic recitation, and deep contemplation. The idea is that a balanced spiritual life depends upon different acts of worship and meditations for complete sustenance. So how exactly can you become a more mindful Muslim? According to As-Suyuti, you go through 4 different stages of thoughts before you put something into action. The first one, al-hajis, is a sudden fleeting thought. Then comes al-khatir, which is a thought you actually give attention and consideration to, followed by hadith an-nafs, which is that inner dialogue you have where you seriously consider acting upon that thought. And then finally, al-ham and al-azm, which refers to the decision you make to put that thought into action. The key is to become more aware of the distance between a thought, feeling, or emotion and your reaction to that thought, feeling, or emotion. Realizing that there is a distance gives you the time to control your reaction to it. Here's a mindfulness exercise for Muslims that actually puts all of this into action. Step 1, choose a time of day, a quiet, secluded area, and a comfortable posture for yourself. Step 2, focus awareness on your natural breathing and progressively relax the muscle tension throughout your body, in your arms, then your legs, then your core, then your jaw. Slowly settle your state of heart and mind by feeling the life and energy Allah gave you throughout your body. Step 3, perceive the feeling of muraqabah. Know and feel that Allah is watching you. Silence that inner dialogue. Focus on being with Allah in the present moment. When you get distracted, recite the remembrances of Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Verily at times there is a fog over my heart, so I seek the forgiveness of Allah 100 times a day." Remember that the act of meditation is repeatedly bringing yourself back to the state of muraqabah through the remembrances of Allah, or dhikr, until it becomes a natural habit to be in that state. Dhikr is your calming anchor. If done regularly, the mindfulness exercise will allow you to have an easier, more natural presence in your prayer, strengthen your mental and spiritual muscles, provide stress relief and relaxation, give you better focus and attention, increase you in empathy and compassion, and most importantly, it will allow you to gain control of your thoughts, desires, and emotions. You'll notice your thoughts as they begin to appear, which will give you enough time to decide to act on the good and dispel the bad. See, we may not always be able to change what happens to us in life, but we can change how we experience it and react to it. Modern science has proven that mindfulness exercises yield a number of health and wellness benefits, even in a non-religious context. These insights can be synthesized with Islam's own rich tradition of meditation to produce practical, contemporary techniques that cultivate Islamic mindfulness, enhance worship, and enrich our quality of life. Remember that God knows what is in your souls, so be mindful of Him.
Thank you, Justin Parrott, and also Yaqeen Institute for the video. That was very wonderful. And I think this is the final Mentimeter, inshallah. Yeah, inshallah. I pernah lupa dah. Sekejap ya. Okay. I believe that many of us are tired now. Yeah, I am also mindful of my level of energy, and I would like to invite us to reflect based on the video about being a mindful Muslim. Yeah, what is our plan after this so that we can be a better mindful Muslim? So I'm inviting everyone, whether you are currently on YouTube or currently with me on Zoom. I'm inviting that how can you be a better mindful Muslim? What is your action plan? Okay, thank you so much. So at least we have one who are still online with us. Yeah. Yeah, we have two. Always seek forgiveness from Allah. Mindfully, recite probably astaghfirullah, yeah, or with other sentences that can reflect our seeking of forgiveness from Allah. Try to be aware of every action. Yeah, I believe that that is our struggle to be more mindful, and find a safe space for ourselves and try reconnecting our inner self with Allah within the time we are in the safe space by simply doing zikr. Yeah, and I remember listening to Dr. Rania Awad. She's a psychiatrist. I think in the Stanford University of US. Yeah, and she is the director of the um, Islamic Psychology Department or Institute. I forgot the detail of the center. Yeah, and definitely she is a very busy lady. Yeah, very busy woman with a lot of public talk and whatnot. And she said that I probably unable to really do khulwah. Yeah, to allocate another extra time. But whenever that I am on my, whenever that I do salat, this is actually my khulwah. So she perceive the salat itself is a khulwah. Yeah, so she will try to have a better environment whenever that she do salat. Yeah, and that is actually the time where she consider it is a salat and it is also a murakabah. Yeah, and I think that is beautiful. If we can allocate a khulwah time, different from our salat time, that is even better if we have the luxury of time. Don't leave the obligatory to worship Allah. Yep. Going back to the basic, and if we would like to improve ourselves, we can start with what that is considered compulsory, or wajib first. Yeah. Try to practice sabar and fill hearts with remembering Allah through zikir. Yeah, through zikir, as how the Yakin Institute has beautifully put it. Our anchor is zikir. If our salat is 5 times a day, and it has specific time, we may not be able to do salat again and again. Yeah. But whenever that we feel uncomfortable, that zikir and going back to Allah through zikir, I think is the easiest and fastest way communicate with Allah, whether through recitation of zikir or just through communicating with Allah. Ya Allah, help me. I don't like this feeling. I feel so sad. Please help me. Yeah. I have good support system. I have my husband, I have my children, but sometimes they are all human being, and they are also limited with certain things. But we know that we have the spirit, we have the higher being that always with us. We have our breath, and we have Allah. So let's try to use this, to do a lot of to do more zikir, to communicate more with Allah whenever that we need help. And in my personal life, sometimes I don't have answer to certain questions, and I intentionally have that conversation with Allah, that I don't understand these sentences in certain in ayat Al-Quran. What does it mean when Musa alayhi salam talked to Khidir like this? So I have this contemplation, and sometimes without knowing that, uh, after few hours after that contemplation, after few hours from that communication, suddenly when I turn on ikim, yeah, I'm not the person who always turn on apa nama tu, radio. I don't really like to do that, but suddenly I feel like, okay lah, turning on radio, and suddenly it's on ikim, and I'm suddenly listening to listening to a session whereby they are talking about Musa and Khidir. And I was like, oh my God, this is how Allah answer what I have asked him previously. Doesn't matter him or her, whatever lah, yeah, that is only the terminology. So I would like to invite all of us to to inculcate being a mindful Muslim. Okay, thank you so much for all the wonderful sharing. Yeah, I probably unable to share or speak baca satu-satu, ya. And I think we are about, okay, what else? Oh, okay. If whatever that I have been explaining to you, you feel that you still need help, yeah, and if you're still not okay, it's okay to not okay, therefore seek help. And I would like to share with you, Google Let's Talk Minda Sihat. This is the official government strategies to help us in improving our mental health. Yeah, Let's Talk Minda Sihat. There's a lot of resources there that you can try to find and seek help. Yeah, in case if our counseling center may not be able to be reached out due to a lot of reasons. Yeah, in case our peer support group also is unable to allocate time to see us, use this resources. And we also have Talian Sokongan Psychosocial COVID-19 by Mercy Malaysia. They combine effort with the Ministry of Health. And we have this Ministry of Women, women. The Talian Kasih 15999 15999, whereby you can either call them or WhatsApp them to reach out and seek help. This is the Mentari Community Mental Health Center, Pusat Kesihatan Mental Masyarakat, whereby you can just bring yourself there and try to get help from them in relation to mental health. Well, you can also, I would like to invite you to follow me on Facebook, IG, Instagram, and Twitter. Sometimes, I do share certain thing pertaining to mental health, and sometimes I also share my next mental health advocate activities. For example, tonight I will be speaking about the benefits and risks of getting therapy at the Reframe Malaysia. You can Google. You can go if you have Facebook. The Reframe is an NGO. I will have another event tonight talking about the how to get help for mental health and what is the benefit and risk of psychotherapy. Yeah. Okay, so I'm aware of time, and if you screen sharing has stopped as the chat window is closed. Yeah. Okay. So if you have question, I believe that Nafiza has informed that if you have questions, you can type in the chat box, or you can, I don't know, how can they send their question? Nafisa, over to you.
We have currently we have two questions. So the first question is how actually to respond to someone that's sharing problem to us. What is the correct way to make them feel comfortable?
Okay. Because the question is quite general, and we know that human being and situation can be very complex, can be very complex in a various situation due to various factors. However, the things that are quite general that we can do is, number one, make yourself being present at that time. Being present meaning that you bring yourself to listen to the people's responses. Okay, first, you are ready to be mindful. Number two, you may want to ask questions such as, when people say to you about they have problems, they want to do this and that, you can encourage them to speak more, such as kalau dalam bahasa Melayunya, you boleh cakap contohnya, cuba kau cerita lagi dekat aku, macam mana kau boleh terfikir pasal benda ni, contohnya macam mana benda ni boleh jadi. That is in Malay lah. In English, can you tell me more about that? I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to to hear to what you would like to share, what you want to share with me. As general as that. And we are actually using what we call open-ended question. So when we use this open-ended question, and when we are more prepared, in other words, we have the intention to be mindful, and when we ask that question, please use what we call active listening. Really listen, and you can show that you are actively listening to their story by both verbal and non-verbal responses. The verbal responses, you can say, okay. What else? What happened after that? That is verbal again. So non-verbal, you cannot. You can have an eye contact, you can use a very calming intonation and voice. Yeah. So be aware, try to be aware of your facial reaction too. Sometimes even our facial reaction can show that we are disinterested. Yeah, we are not actively listening and we are wandering around. What else I want to speak. No, focus first. It's okay if you're stuck somewhere here and there. I hope I have answered certain thing. That's something lah. Yeah, for the question. Okay.
Thank you, Doctor. The next question is, while being mindful about our daily activities, how do we know that we are stepping into the toxic positivity side?
Okay, my mind wander around in few seconds before this. Can Nafisa restate again the question?
Sure, Doctor. While being mindful about our daily activities, how do we know that we are stepping into the toxic positivity side?
Oh, toxic positivity. Okay, all right. Well, toxic positivity is when we uh always aim for being positive. Yeah, always aim to feel positive. Always aim for a nice thing in our life. Yeah. Whereas if rational positivity or rational positivity, we are able to accept that there are nice and bad thing in this world. There are comfortable and uncomfortable emotion. There are things that there are things that we are struggle and we feel so bad about it. There are possibility that we may not get an A in the future, even though that we work so hard for it. Yeah. So if we found that we are too focused on getting nice thing and achieving nice thing, achieving always positivity, we probably have fall into the trap of toxic positivity. And normally people who are in a rational positive, they are more calm, they are more balanced. Yeah, it's okay, relax. Yeah, they are ups and down, they are black and white, but they are also gray, they are extreme. But let's move to the middle. So I hope that I have answered the question.
Thank you, Doctor. I believe that is all for the question session.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Dr. Jamila Hanum, for the remarkable and inspiring sharing just now. So brothers and sisters, we have come to the end of the program, which I really hope all of us would get benefit from the sharing session just now. All right, just a reminder to all of you again to fill in the evaluation form that I've posted on the chat box as your exit ticket from this program. This is important for your star points. That is all from me. I am sorry if there were any shortcomings caused by me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and stay safe. We end our program today with Tasbih Kafarah and Surat Al-As.
Dr. Jen, thank you so much. Very wonderful. Saya pun banyak belajar ni.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for inviting. Inshallah, we'll meet again in the future. Yeah. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Doctor.